Yeah, I mean, okay. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Okay, I'm tripping. Woo. Okay, that was weird. That was very, 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 very weird. Ghosts in the machine. I guess that's what they call them. Hello and welcome. It's Thursday. That means it's almost Friday. At least you got something to look forward to. You got Friday to look forward to. Got a few things I want to talk about. Some of them good. Excuse me. And some of them not so good. Ooh, that's good. That's good. You know what this is? This is today's flavor is honey chamomile mixed with a no lactose cream. It's good. It's good. It's really good. Anyways, though, yeah, we is in the building. As soon as Grand Madam get here, we gonna get started. Cause I know she gonna have some thoughts, and and I want to hear them. Like I said, some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but I mean, I feel like that's life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get or be the type of person. I ain't gonna say you can do what you want to do, but I don't want to be the type of person that gets just so caught up in this world that we, I like to say surround ourselves in. There. That's a nice non-judgmental word. Just, so that's because you can get immersed and lose yourself completely, but it's good to, unjack from the matrix as it were every now and then and hear about real world events, real things, shit that's going on in the world. It's going to go on whether you know about it or not. So might as well know about it, right? Juju in the building. Long time no see. Brother, what's popping? My brother Theo in the hazy. And Kamoyo done slid up in this mug and about 5 more, y'all. That just say hi, man. We ain't gonna bite you. I promise. I promise we ain't gonna bite you. It's safe. It's real safe. All right. Okay, she gonna. Okay, well, I guess I could flip. I could flip subjects. Um. Okay. Last week, I asked the question, and if you was here, you kind of did a little self-examination yourself. I asked the question, are you a narcissist? And given the definitions and psychological background as it relates to the behavior of people who are designated quote unquote narcissists, I think a lot of us as human beings share some of those qualities, some of those symptoms, some of those traits. some of those habits, but all in all, very small number of us are just like out and out narcissistic. What do I mean by that? Okay, here's a question that I ask myself all the time. Do people who are content creators consider themselves celebrities? Or do they liken themselves unto a semblance of being a celebrity? And I wonder about that. So, because to me, unless you are somebody who has truly achieved a celebrity status, as in frequent interaction with celebrities, like of the non-social media type, then yeah, then you're a celebrity. You know what I mean? And I say that to simply say there's a lot of people out there, you know what I'm saying, that come across my feed and I'm listening to them talk, and it's one thing to give you your opinion, but it's something different altogether to think your opinion is something that should be followed. If a person chooses to think the way I think or adhere to anything that I've spoken on, it's because they've heard me speak on it and they've weighed it against, other things and said what D-Real said makes the most logical sense to me. And that's how you should be, not, just do it because I'm doing it. Don't, or say it because I'm saying it. Say it because that's what you feel. Do it because that's what you feel needs to be done. No other reason. And I say all of that simply to say narcissistic behavior is easy to, contract if you think you're the type of person who feels entitled to attention. There you go. You feel entitled to it. You feel as though everybody need to be paying attention to you. And if they ain't paying attention to you, why the hell not? That might come off that way. I don't know. I can't speak on nobody else. I can only speak on me. Sometimes I feel, that I, show qualities, but I don't feel like I'm as out and out, you are beneath me because you don't get as much attention as I do. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling some kind of way. I don't know. Theo say, I think it's something an individual should guard themselves against, but yes, I do think we on this platform are narcissistic to a degree. Okay. Some of us passively and others actively. So, all right. Enough dawdling. Let's get to the subject at hand. Pop quiz. How many of y'all watched that video that I sent you in the Facebook feed there about the Marine? When the Marine started speaking out against the war against Iran, literally broke the man's arm trying to get him out of there. That incensed me on a level that I could have been roused to physical response had I been in that room. It would have took everything in me to not go to jail that night. You know what I'm saying? Because that first of all, man, the Marine had on his he had on his dress uniform. He had on with the and the leather neck and the bow and the white glove, and they was roughhousing my man. They had him yoked. I was like, bruh, hey y'all, that's how y'all feel about veterans. That's how you feel. That's what we doing to veterans now in the United States of America. They getting dragged out of places because we don't want to hear what they got to say. Because the truth sting. And them folks didn't want to hear that truth that Marine was speaking. Good job, jarhead. Damn it. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. They don't like to see that. They don't want to see nobody standing up for nobody else because that incites people to think for themselves. And then when people start to think for themselves, they can see through bullshit. Am I crashing out? Yeah, I'm kind of crashing out. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? This war in Iran, this so-called war that was not sanctioned by Congress. Uh-oh. But somehow it's a war. You see what I'm saying? Somehow it's let's call that shit what it is. It's a grab for power. You know what I'm saying? Bullying a motherfucker in the region in a way that I literally think the powers that be sit in a room and they got a board open like with dice and shit, and it's just the Middle East, and they roll the dice and go, "Bow, which one of these countries in the Middle East we gonna fuck with this week?" Just say we coming to bulldog the motherfucking oil and stop us if you can. Spare me this mass destruction of weapons and all of that bullshit. And oh, they're a threat to this. And oh, they were supposed to do that. And they got nuclear weapons and they can blow. Fuck all that. Okay? Let's address this veteran. How y'all treating y'all veterans? But these the same people you roughing up. These the same people you want to go and die for you. This the man who done took the oath to die for this country, to defend this country. And that's how the fuck you treating him? That's a high degree of fucked up. A very high degree. That I would, if as a cop, I would never be a cop, but as a cop, if I would feel some kind of way about putting my hands on a Marine. Not because I was afraid of what a Marine would do to me, but because of what that uniform represents. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't do that. To me, it'd be like trying to arrest Captain America, something like that. You know what I mean? I ain't saying Marines are Captain America by no stretch, but I mean, it just that. Come on now, you understand what I'm getting at? You know what I'm saying? It's up there, man. With some people we hold in high regard. I mean, and that's how we treat them now. If you don't think what the collective say think, I don't give a damn who you are. You can be a woman. You can be a child. You can be a Marine. You can be a soldier. It don't matter no more. If you are not falling in line, that's your ass. I mean, or rather, we going down swinging. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. All my people done slid in the building. Paul Martin, what's up, my brother? I said a Nancy. Yeah. That was, yeah, man. Goodness, man. It was so visceral. It did something to me. Just why, and I need to back up off of shit because I done seen too many videos like that. You know what I mean? Of people manhandling folks that don't need to be manhandled. Or you using lethal force. And it's just like, bruh, you don't have to grab nobody like that in no hard way. You can grab the way they was grabbing him. You could have just gently did that. You had to, you yoking him around because he wouldn't be moved because he's a Marine. You know what I'm saying? And they stand their ground. Plus, he had a lot of practice with a bugle stick. That exposes the lie that they give a damn about their military. Exactly, Theo. That's why I say me, myself, at this point is on and popping going forward. Woo! What now? I mean, in my mind, how much else do we feel like we need to see before we go? What I thought was going on, it is going on. So you better be prepared to respond to what's going on. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? I can't drop too many trigger words tonight because, because folks be listening and folks be looking, and I don't want to give them nothing to listen and look at. But I do want to be able to do what I love to be able to do with my people, and that's speak in code. Mario said, I saw that and told my wife the mask is off. Fascism is fully here. Where we live. Is where we live. You know what I'm saying? It's a stew that's been bubbling for decades, and now I think it's about done. Cause it done been cooked to perfection, and this regime, that's what I call it. I call it a regime. Let's just call it what it is. This regime is helping to implement it via the division and hatred. And it's all a distraction, ain't it? Ain't it all a distraction? That's one hell of a distraction, ain't it? I don't want them focusing on these files, so I'm going to start a war. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I said it. And that's the bottom line. And I hope all of these folks that want to start these wars and have us, our children flying off and dying, make sure your kids is there too. Make sure your kids getting they nuts shot off. Make sure your kids is coming back with prosthetics. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sending us. I ain't never been to Iran. Nobody in my family ever been to Iran. Why the fuck we got to suffer? Because of what the beef y'all got with Iran. I feel like, man, like I always said, it was this movie I used to watch. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible, terrible movie. I will let you know that in advance. But it's called Robot Jox, JOX. And in this weird ass future, when two countries had beef, instead of sending armies and people getting killed, which I thought was pretty cool, they had giant robots fight. and and they pick athletes, or warriors or whatever to do it. But I feel like let the two leaders do it. Teach them how to fight in the robots and let them go fight. And whoever wins, that's who wins. Seems fair to me. Or send y'all son to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It just is be aware of what's going on in this country. Be aware. So I'm gonna say, if you got the wool over your eyes, then just keep the fucking wool over your eyes. This ain't for you. You need to be aware of what's going on in this country. Okay. Project 2025 is in full effect. 2026, whatever you want to call it, it's in full effect. It's in full fucking effect. I do not know what else to say to people. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like a fucking horror movie sometimes. When you look around and you like, there's nothing that can be done, and it's just the power it sits in. There's no control, and it's just like, that's why I smoke. Fuck it, man. I ain't sitting around worrying about that shit all day, every day. But I am aware of it. And if y'all need me, call me. Oh, this is a delicious blend of tea from Celestial Seasonings. Oh my goodness, I need to holler at them. That's gonna be my sponsor. Somebody some tea. It's gonna be some tea. And you say, how the are we at war without Congress? Only need a majority vote. And what's the majority in there? That's why they fighting so hard to try to flip these states. And you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's terrible thing, terrible thing. APOC on, yeah. Grand Madam, how you doing, darling? Good to see you. Oh, I'm not saying it can't. Shit is happening. I'm not saying it can't happen or become it's a conflict. Like, fuck y'all. I don't need no, Obama did it. Obama did it. He didn't get congressional to send SEAL Team 6 in there. That wasn't, we were just like, it needed to be done. And so it got done. But generally, if we going to assassinate somebody, and let's just be clear, that's what the fuck that was. It's got to be passed. Got to go past Congress, and that didn't either. And I ain't playing because I hate getting into that thing where they play that tit for tat shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, we did it because the Republicans did it. Well, we did it because the Democrats did it. Somebody got to be better. Somebody got to be humane or do that. Fuck it. We just gonna act fools. But I mean, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? When you live in a world where the level of violence that we see on a regular basis continues to escalate to the point where we're desensitized to it. We're desensitized to violence in this country because we see so freaking much of it. We see so much of it in our media. We see so much of it in real life. We see so much of it, hell, in our cities. Well, I say, well, I look out. Well, who we got here? We got Baltimore in the building. We got New York in the building. We got Florida in the building. Who else up in here? We got well, we got Alaska in the building. Hey, just for the most part, what color is your state? You know, and all that the blue can do right now is to try to flip from the lowest level going up versus from the highest level coming down. It's yeah. in 2099, we'll open up this file and find out what all of this bullshit was really about. Because I seriously don't think we're going to find out in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? What the bottom line is with all of the things that are happening. But I done already went through 2 topics. We only been here 27 minutes. Goodness gracious, I can talk. And y'all feel free to just pop off in the comments. I see y'all in there saying hi to each other. So I'm going to let y'all say hi to each other. That's going to give me a little time. That gives me the stall I need to snag my visuals. And since I'm on the subject of things I want to talk about, and I might not be too nice about them. Next on the crash out is these guys right here. What are we doing here? What are we doing here with lanterns? What is that? I'm somebody help me. Okay, for those of y'all that ain't aware, a couple days ago, trailer for the DC Studios series on HBO, Lanterns, dropped. And I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you. I got unexcited because, I mean, are they doing it on purpose? Are they like taking all the Green Lantern shit out of it? I mean, are we trying to do like what they did with Penguin? I mean, Penguin was a masterpiece because you dealing with it where it's at. And on a most fundamental level, Penguin is the streets. That is why that show worked so well. This show should fundamentally be in space. It should fundamentally be somewhere other than Earth. I don't care where else, just not Earth, you know, or we can go back to Earth every now and then when we got to check our mail or you know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. So other than that, bruh, you turn Lanterns into a buddy cop movie series. It's just Lethal Weapon. Is that what you're telling me? It just I like Green Lanterns. I like Green Lantern as a character. I like Green Lanterns in general. Don't do this. Please be holding something back. If you give me 8 episodes of On the Road again with no Green Lantern-y shit going on, you get a big fat F from me. Yeah, and while I'm thinking about it, what in the is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? That's supposed to be a Green Lantern. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. What's with the addition and ain't that almost kind of a yellowish hue? Don't Green Lanterns have a thing about yellow? And anyway, mustard. Yeah, if we get now particular about the color, you know what I mean? And I hope it pivots hard, because you trying to get me to watch the show, you got to give me a little something. You got to give me little something, just a little something. I know you ain't finna make it no buddy cop series. You ain't gonna have them on Earth for 8 episodes. That would be such a failure for a Green Lantern show. Any Green Lantern show. Any Green Lantern show, animated, live action, or otherwise, that only takes place on Earth is a big fat ass F. How are you a galactic space cop and you don't go out in space? What the fuck is that? Anyway. Kamayo say his gun trying to do way too much. Okay. Kamayo say they are hiding everything from the trailer. So you think it's all smoke and mirrors, that they actually gonna have some banging ass special effects and they just hiding it all. Okay. Well, then you better drop that shit in the first episode, because if it ain't in the first episode, you lost me. Somebody gonna have to come back and tell me later on, man, episode 4, Sinestro came out and they was dueling and some big. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hear that later. Cause yeah, I ain't got time for no bullshit. I ain't got time for it, man. Hit me with the real, or go head on with this right here, man. I can't do that with y'all. You know what I mean? See, I got tired of hearing Hal call John Stewart Jr. in the trailer. Yeah, that was bordering on Junior. I don't like the way you say Junior, cracker. Oh, D-Real, why'd you say that? They don't really have a real word that bothers them when you say it. They're not like, they ain't offended. They ain't brought to want to come to blows. I have yet to find the word that makes Europeans do that, like the N-word does us. Like, ain't nobody scared of walking into a room of Caucasian people and screaming out "cracker" and worry about getting beat down. They mentioned the Green Lantern squirrel at the end of the trailer, but I guess we may never get to see him. But yeah, you know how they do. They have mentioned some shit sideways and Nancy to let you know, we are aware that this is your universe and this is what we want you to see and know and all of this kind. I get it. But I'm from Missouri. You guys show me. Show me. I want to see the shit. You know what I mean? I don't just be talking and making references. The MCU does that bullshit all the time. Stop making reference to that. Show me that. I want to see that. Put that on the screen. You know, and ain't that generally what we want? You know, don't tell me about some shit in the comic world. Show it to me. That's what I want to see. That's why I'm watching your bullshit ass show, to see the stuff that's in the comic books, not to see this funny shit y'all making up and saying, "Oh, this is great cinema, though, and we're trying to win Emmys." And I get all of that, man. But essentially, you are what you are, and being what you are when it comes to a superhero genre is thankless work, or at least it has been up until recently. Feel like more people are starting, you know, to get love in the field. Yeah, we are just 30 minutes. We are just rolling along. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. I know Grand Madam has some thoughts, but I've been kind of studying this. I've been kind of studying this situation, and I am ready to further teach on the subject. They like, D real, what in the actual FURQ are you talking about? The BAFTA thing. Yeah. What's the guy's name? John Davidson. Yeah, John Davidson. Now, okay, let's bring everybody up to speed. John Davidson is this guy. He's got this movie coming out about his life. He's a guy with Tourette syndrome, and he's one of the 15% of people with Tourette syndrome who manifested a condition with Tourette syndrome called coprolalia, and basically you cuss and shit and have cussing outbursts. That's fucking ass. Well, people think everybody with Tourette syndrome does, but everybody with Tourette syndrome doesn't do that. Now, I know initially when I talked about it in a video, my focus was on who taught him that. You know what I'm saying? But that isn't where all of my focus was. It's also, you know, the people who broadcast BAFTA, the people, the BBC, the BBC and BAFTA primarily. You could have edited it out. You could have edited it out and chose not to. That in and of itself sends a message, at least to me. I don't know about the rest of you African Americans, blacks, whatever you choose to call yourself, but it sends a message to me when you say people can get away with things like this and it's cool. Racism is everywhere. It may be more concentrated in other places, but it is everywhere. As long as people teach hatred and inequality, we will always have it. Now, this is what my man said. That's him right there. That's John Davis. BAFTA made us all aware that any swearing would be edited out of the broadcast. I feel the BBC should have worked harder to prevent anything that I said from being included in the broadcast. That's what John Davidson told Variety magazine. So now what? We still mad at him? Because from what I understand, he's apologized, But he ain't apologized to Delroy Lindo or Michael B. Jordan, who, in my opinion, are who I think he should be apologizing to. If he apologizes to anybody at all, those are the two people he should apologize to. If anybody deserves, because that award, you know what I'm saying, was about visual effects. Didn't have nothing to do with them. They were just the presenters. They were just the vessels, you know. But you calling that out? I get it. You can't help it. Also, Tourette's can be tics. It can be physical tics and, you know what I'm saying, things like that, and sounds, and, you know what I'm saying, it isn't just, you know, out of anywhere. You know what I mean? It's stuff that they can't control. At the same time, I'm not excusing it by any stretch of the imagination. And this woman right here, yeah, that's Jamie Lawson. And Jamie Lawson say, she said that the BBC exploited John Davis. That's how she put it. Now, again, not excusing what the man did, but with the understanding, and this is the hardest part, whether he knew it or not, or whether he wanted to or not, he did something hurtful. Whether that was his intention or not, he did damage. If I knock over my auntie's priceless Ming vase, I didn't mean to do that, but I did do it, and it's broken, and that still needs to be dealt with. What was broken needs to be mended. That's simple. What goes out into the universe affects the universe. You know what I'm saying? If you say something and it comes out of your mouth, I have yet to learn the technique that you can use to pull words back into your mouth and in your lungs and up your nose and whatever. It can't be done. Once we speak it, it's spoken. And the feelings that come with it linger. That's the part people who don't want to apologize either refuse to acknowledge or don't understand they need to acknowledge. And there's no call for it. There's no call for it. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I can't 100% be angry at dude. I mean, I'm you know what I'm saying? Because, man, I have been around people like that. And it's hard to explain. It's really fucking hard to explain. It's just the first couple of times you hear it, you think, oh, this motherfucker's putting on a show. No, we in a room by ourselves and you saying shit. Just saying it. Going to town. And it's just like, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong with this mother? You know what I'm saying? That's where you're at mentally until you start to adjust and understand, oh, here come this moment. You need to make a choice to either like say I can be around people like that or I can't. And if you know they giving an award for a Tourette syndrome guy in a movie, then either you saying he can't be at the award for the movie that his life inspired. I mean, because that's what people with disabilities have always been fucking denied access to the places that everybody else can go to willy-nilly. That's why wheelchair ramp laws were put in place, and steps had to be a certain distance apart, and you had to have a certain kind of banister, and you had to have that shit in the bathroom, bruh. There was a whole thing behind it, and like I said, advocating for people like this for 26 years, the shit was needed. Period. Now, what kind of amends, what kind of apologies do we expect from a person who says fuck you, fuck off, fuck you, bitch on a regular basis? It's not an excuse. And that's what a lot of us can't understand. It's not an excuse. You saying they can't be in them spaces. You got to be careful about how you frame that shit, is all I'm saying. I ain't saying it's right. What I'm saying is you got to understand how you coming at it. Are you coming at it because of what the person said, or are you coming at it because of who that person is? Are you coming at it because you just don't like any motherfucker on earth? If a dude in a wheelchair called you the N-word, you gonna tip the wheelchair over? Then you would be considered a worse person than them. Pick your battles has never been more important, especially when it comes to the. You think the LGBTQ get a pass over black people? Guess what? So do the handicapped. So do the differently abled. Do you know a person with Down syndrome is a person with Down syndrome before they're black? You're supposed to treat the person, then the disability. But oftentimes, because of perception and because of what we think a person should be, or where they should be, or how they should be in a certain setting, we have these rituals. You know what I'm saying? We the worst. We don't want nobody to know. When black folks, when we got somebody in our family with a disability, we put a fucking football helmet on his head and leave him upstairs. Yeah, that shit used to happen. He said, I don't care. He would have gotten a Will Smith from me. Should have been some hands-on long ago. As for everything else, I still don't know why we're there. It reeks of wanting to be accepted by others. Okay. Because I have a unique perspective, I'm going to go ahead. I don't know how to explain it. If somebody with Tourette's syndrome stood right in front of my face and said the N-word. And I know they got Tourette's. Yeah, I'm going to stand there and I'm going to wait for that apology. Because they know what they said. We're not saying they don't know what they said. They know what they said. They think it before they say it. Of course they fucking know what they're saying. What I'm saying is they can't control saying it. So the intent is not malicious. That's the part nobody understands or won't understand. I get it. It's wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong, but in that setting, it happens. You know, some people with Tourette's get stimulated. They get stimulated in places when they're in like large room. That's why you can't take them to the fucking movies. That's why they can't go to the movies. You never see nobody in the movies with Tourette's syndrome because they get too stimulated in settings like that, and they just motherfucker, yeah, bitch. So, and it just starts going. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, me myself personally, I would have had Buddy backstage. That's what I would have did. As a professional and understanding that being in that setting is gonna have my man jumping off and fuck this and bitch that, and you know what I'm saying? Let's have my man sit backstage. And you can sit backstage with the celebrities and you can kick it with us and you can be back there and do this, that, and the third. Then when it's time for you to get your award or come out and speak and say or do whatever, then we can have you come on out and you get to be in them same settings. You get to interact and socialize because arguably being in the audience with mugs is okay. But if I'm backstage kicking it with celebrities, I ain't mad at that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a win-win situation. That's an easy fix. And that could have been done. Or cutting the footage because it was pre-recorded. That is where my focus is. Why in the fuck did this get broadcast? If it's a recording, that means somebody done seen the shit already and you heard that shit in there and said, okay, we broadcasting that shit. We ain't tripping on that motherfucker. We worried about this person who can't control themselves. That's where your focus is. No, that ain't where your focus should be. And I'll die on that hill. That's not where your focus should be. Your focus should be on them effete ass British motherfuckers who let that shit go on the fucking air and didn't want to fucking apologize initially. That's where it should be. Those are the ones who are showing their ass. Those are the ones who have no fucking couth. Those are the people who exploited this person with a fucking disability. That's what happened. That's the long and the short of that shit. Period. Yeah, he got Tourette's. Yeah, he said the N-word with the hard fucking R, but he can't help it. I ain't saying it's right and he deserves to. Some mugs need to be extended apologies. But how did that shit get aired? We wouldn't have knew nothing about it if the fucking BBC did their fucking job in the first fucking place. Period. That would have ameliorated all of this. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation right here. That's all I'm saying. We focused on the symptoms. We need to focus on the disease. That ain't where the focus should be. In February motherfucking. You know what I'm saying? Black History motherfucking month. That's who we should be mad at. That's who we should be. Fuck Doctor Who. Fuck the Queen. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? If that's what y'all think about Black History Month, that's how I feel about that. That's them. They let that shit go on. They let that shit be aired. The fuck? That's them. That's motherfucking BAFTA. That's the BB motherfucking C. That's them cats. Them the one. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if they had did their job. You know what I'm saying? You got, yeah. I mean, it's truly a walk a mile in somebody's shoes kind of situation. It's kind of like I got people in my family that deal with like anxiety and depression and shit. And what they do not like is people saying, "How can I help you?" Because there's nothing outwardly that I can do to assist with what's going on inside of that person. I can't help their insides. I can't help their brain. You know what I'm saying? So much in the same way. Something neurological, it's neurological. You mad at a motherfucker because how they brain work? I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. That's the long and the short of it. I mean, I don't know. If it was a tick where I was smacking people in the face, yeah, that's kind of, I get that. Oh yeah, we can't have you here. You gonna have to go somewhere else because you are endangering people. You assaulting folks. Yeah, I get it. He better be careful of his words in the future. One of these days, somebody might knock the Tourette's all the way out of him. Anansi, I am 99.999% sure he has been knocked in his mouth more than once. I guarantee it. I bet you $1 million to a dozen of donuts. He done been hit in his mouth more than once, more than twice, more than two. Whenever this movie comes, because the movie coming to the United States, I swear is what it's called. It's coming. I'm gonna check it out, and I guarantee you, oh, he done got hit. Trust me, he done got hit. Or rolled up on and almost hit, because trust me. We didn't hear honky cracks or sun dodging snow ape, so I have a hard time being in total agreement. Well, if you watched the video, you saw the part where I said, who taught you that? Okay. And I thought about that too, because there are people with Tourette's who don't make racist slurs. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the selection of word is bad. Yes. And again, deeper problem. Long as we got people that teach it and perpetuate it. Because far as we know, he could have been in an environment where he heard people say that. And that's where a lot of that corporalia comes from, hearing it in other places, and it gets into the brain like a earworm, and you constantly hear it, and you constantly hear it, and you constantly hear it, you constantly hearing it in your brain, so you just you blurt it out. If he grew up or he was in or exposed to a racist environment, that is the same way that stimulus gets introduced to that subject. It don't sound like it's a science to it, but it is. It just is. I mean, I want to be mad like y'all want to be mad. I want to be pissed off like y'all pissed off. But I understand the science. I ain't excusing it, but I do understand it. And I ain't asking nobody to give nobody a pass. That ain't what I said. That ain't come out of my mouth not one time. Just like I said when I did my short, if I'm a paraplegic in a wheelchair and I roll over your foot, I owe you an apology for rolling over your foot, not for being a paraplegic. I don't owe you shit for being a paraplegic. Same difference. I owe you an apology for dropping an N-bomb. I'm sorry. It's a condition I have called Tourette's, and I do that sometimes. I apologize. What else can you do after that? You know what I'm saying? And even then, if it's me and I and I refuse, and if I think that motherfucker's on one, I ain't gonna accept it. I'm not gonna be happy with it. And if in my heart, out of purpose in my heart, I'm gonna be pissed off and salty. I'm gonna be pissed off and salty. That's just what that is. I think that's what's rubbing some the wrong way. His Tourette's is yeah. The British are hella fucking racist. Is being used as an excuse to justify. No, not justifying it at all. No shape, form, fashion. Not justifying it. But an apology is owed. That part I agree with. Now, again, there's that point of contention. I don't want to apologize because it's a part of, no, you absolutely need to apologize. But that's our American sensibilities. That's a British motherfucker. They don't give a fuck like American people give a fuck about that word. You know? So, okay, yeah, he's a shitheel for not wanting to apologize. Ronnie J, what's up, man? He said, I would have had the guy with Tourette syndrome far away from the stage and the microphone so nobody can hear his outburst, but he can still be with his peers. I don't know, Ronnie. It might work. It might not have. He chooses not to apologize, so I got no sympathy for the man. He can still govern himself enough to apologize. Yeah. Usually when people don't think they're wrong, they triangulate. And that's precisely what he's doing. Racist slurs are a part of his culture. Even the lowest of them think they are above us. Again, he has not apologized to those he offended. Had he did that, he would get more understanding from blacks. Well, a lot of blacks I talk to is 50-50. Now, for this, black folks ain't even that mad. They're pissed that he and all the white enablers don't feel he should apologize. Influence opinion, you influence thought. If we're upset about that, then the white enablers is where our focus should be. Because that one guy with Tourette syndrome trying to make him feel like a shitheel isn't going to move the needle in any kind of way. That's why I'm saying, that's why I'm talking about the BBC and BAFTA and everybody who let this shit get out anyway. Those are the people that need to be run up on. Okay. My dog barking. Usually when my dog barking, that means made me have to grab my thing. Anyway. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't, and this is my part and thought, and I'm gonna be done with it. I don't disagree that an apology is owed. Um, but popular opinion ain't justice. Because when it comes to having to mitigate or deal with something like that, the whole question is has justice been served? What is justice? Giving people what they deserve. Everybody getting what they deserve. Now, if somebody was willing to extend an apology on behalf of people who are offended by the hard R, would we, as the people who were offended, be willing to extend a little more understanding when it comes to things, especially of this nature? It goes a lot farther than you think it will. Let's talk about some happy shit. I think I've had my protracted crash out for the night. I want to talk about some happy shit, damn it. Let's talk about some happy shit. Yo! Hang on a second. Bam, there we go. Hey. Bruce got a special, y'all. What you say? What? Bruce, I didn't know Bruce was still alive. Yeah, Bruce still alive. Bruce got a special. And I will say, Bruce special funny. Bruce special made me laugh out loud a couple times. He got some money. I didn't know Bruce was that affluent. Bruce got some guap, man. I was like, okay, Bruce. See how you doing your thing. Okay. He talks about a little bit of everything in his new comedy special on Netflix. You should check that bitch out. It is pretty funny. It's about an hour, a little over an hour, or a little under, a little over an hour, like 58, 59 minutes. So you get a good chunk of comedy out of Bruce. Bruce had he had brought up the fact that he came up and was, doing things around the same time as all the people that were in Harlem Nights. And I don't know if he alluded to it or not and said, he could have been in Harlem Nights, but he named off everybody in Harlem Nights that ain't alive no more. And it's like 6, 7 mugs he named off from that movie that ain't alive no more. And I was like, wow. And the joke was, he glad he wasn't in that movie. Yeah, he got some moments, man. My man talk about food like he ain't no shame in his game. He talking about I'm eating this, I'm eating that. And he's still big. He still got the big old belly. Bruce still big, man. He's still big as hell. So, yeah, Bruce did the damn thing with the comedy special, man. So I highly recommend that you let Bruce hit it. And I ain't, and he's in everything that that Outkast have done. He been in every movie Outkast has done, and he was in So Fresh So Clean. Ain't nobody to ask me. I dress so fresh and so clean. Man, come on now. But yeah. All right. Did what I got. Coming y'all way this week. But no, for real, serious biz, y'all should watch the special. Watch the special. Slide up with your girls, your wife, your lady, your man, whoever. You know what I'm saying? And watch this special. You'll have you a good laugh. You'll laugh out loud a couple times. I know I did. So yeah, it's funny stuff. Oh, oh, look what I got. Magnus Jakuta, issue number 2 from Wiseacre Comics. Independent, y'all. Black owned, y'all. I practices what I preach. I said I practices what I preach. So when you hear the motherfuckers over there talking that bullshit about what they do and what they do rock with. But anyway, I'm gonna be giving y'all a preview, little quick preview review, talk about the comic. There's some things going down in that issue, and I'm waiting. I'm getting them directly from a mailing source. So I'm gonna pick up the whole series, and as it gets here, I'm gonna bring it to you. Another thing that we got, courtesy of Dynamite Comics, Thundarr the Barbarian, issue number 2. Bruh, they so cold on the what's going on with the matching up the cartoon dealio with this comic. Now, I had a moment, man. They this right here, homie, so true to the cartoon. He used Jason Aaron. When I say he, Jason Aaron used some shit from the opening sequence. You hear me? The opening sequence of the Thundarr the Barbarian cartoon to tell this here story, because we got this story happening on 2 fronts. It's happening in flashbacks and it's happening in real time. And this is during the time before Thundarr got the Sun Sword. Thundarr was still a whole problem before he got the Sun Sword. But he was also an alcoholic. So, bet you didn't see that one coming. Thundar, but a barbarian was an alcoholic. So technically, Thundar is a recovering alcoholic. See, it looks something for everybody in Thundar. What was that? Hour 15? Good. I done got through everything I needed to get through. I ran Boy, Magna Jacuda, John Davidson, Lanterns, Bruce. Are you? Yeah. So we at the last thing. Yeah, I get that he's a barbarian, but we never saw that side. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it was a Saturday morning cartoon, and Thundar couldn't go all Conan like we would have liked to see him do. And some of that is happening in the comic. Wasn't Bruce in the wash? I'ma let you let your smartphone work for you, Theo. Because I am getting ready to pull out a wonderful treat. Cobra la 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 la. That is the Elite Royal Guard. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I'm pull it out. This mug's juicy. These cards is a pretty nice size. You understand? That's a pretty sturdy chunk of action figure. Ooh. It's a cloth cape. It's a cloth cape. But not a wire cape. Mm. Mm. Got me out here working trying to put this thing on. Look, it is alive. There we go. There we go. He look crazy, don't he? The other one looked, I don't know, he looked kind of cold and grim. And it came off pretty easy. Cause that crazy grinning, man. Mike, you got to cut that out. Yeah. He got scars on his face, but hey, that apparently makes you look more gangster. So stacks up pretty tall inside. Let me see how tall he is. I always got my trusty ruler handy. Just 6.5. Just 6.5. Bro, these helmets are something freaky. Hang on. Wow. Mm. How's that helmet? Cobra. La 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 la. This is accessories for your ass, bro. Yeah, he does look bigger than 6.5, huh? And I ain't even, he got a whole nother helmet. Is that a total of 4 head sculpts? See, G.I. Joe, they don't skimp on accessories. I don't know what they be doing with the Marvel Legends. They kind of started to make me like not like Marvel Legends no more. Cause yeah, I didn't cut that shit out. There's that helmet right there. Little bug helmet. And you know what else? You know what else? He got wangs. Man, my man is look at this weapon. Damn, that is a serious man. He got a gun. What does he need a gun for? He got an armor and he got a blade. Damn, that's a knife. He say crocodile Dundee. That ain't a knife. This is a knife. If I can make him hold that bitch. Hold down to it, sucker. There we go. That's a serious blade, ain't it? Yes, I did see the Cobra figure with the yeah, I certainly did. I thought about it. I thought about it. Or we could go with short helmet. So that's four different head sculpts you got for this character. Four. One, two, three, four. I mean head sculpts. Four. Four. F-O. Four head sculpts. Count. Oh, these come off? Lord. My man is doing the most, son. And he's damn. Then you got that. Boy, you don't want to get shot by his ass, do you? Then got the nerve to have a pistol in here. Why do you even need a pistol, bro? You do not need a pistol. You're not that guy. You don't need a pistol. If you are the Cobra la 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 Royal Guard, you do not need a pistol. Not when you hacking and packing like this. you go. Almost kind of looks like a Guyver, huh? Ooh, I could probably. You could totally. Yeah, I see a Guyver or a Kamen Rider. Okay. Now the piece de resistance. The wings. Well, shit, now you got a big lion tamer as where am I? Cutting tools. Always have a cutting tool handy. And a weapon. But let's get to these wings. It looks like it's a man. It's like this is a drawn out process. The wings. So there's 2 sets of shoulder pads, wrist weapons, a very sharp looking. Yeah, this was worth the price. Definitely worth the price. Take off these pads and the cape. And then you put on the wings. Oh, he need that crazy head sculpt for the wings. Oh, you just stick the others on. Okay. Head. It's like a Mothman. There you go. Damn. That's nice, huh? That's real nice. Somebody said Hasbro action figures look too much like toys in my comments recently. Does that look like a toy or could you pass that off as a statue? That's a dope ass figure. Ain't no sense in me lying. Say Cobra. Hey Theo, I got I got more Cobra villains, Cobra bad guys than I do Joe's. I got by a big margin. Maybe I do a video on that and show you how, because I did a video where I posted all of my Cobra figures together. That wasn't even all of them. I just posted enough of them. But yeah, I got some. Yeah, he's a solid piece of plastic, Amaya. He's a solid piece of plastic. For sure. Yes, Anansi, they did. They have one now. I don't know if it's sold out, but I think I saw one over on the Hasbro site. So yeah, they do have it. I think it's kind of spendy, but yeah, it's got where he was like a half man, kind of reptile-ish, and then when he went full snake. So yes. They have the see. You gonna make me go watch G.I. Joe the movie. Oh, I forgot to put that shoulder. Got to put the other set of shoulder pads on. Dun, dun, dun. Cobra, 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 Cobra. Can you tell I was a fan? Dun, dun. They got right down to business, that movie, didn't they? Anyway, no time. We just gonna start shooting at each other. We do not like each other. Here, put the shoulder pads. Yeah, that's a mighty fine looking action figure. Mighty fine looking action. Action figure review to follow. Ronnie say the action figure looks cool and it looks like it should be from Power Rangers TV show from back in the day. You know what, Ronnie? I will not argue with you there. You know, I have King Sphinx from Power Rangers. I have to pull him out one day. But yeah. That's our show, everybody. I'm so glad you came. And I always I welcome all opinions, even differences of opinion. That is what makes the world go round. It is the differences that make us respect one another more rather than just the same old. You know, I don't like people to blow smoke up my ass. I like people to hold my feet to the flame because that keeps me sharp. Iron sharpens iron is what the Bible say. And I am a firm believer in that. I have been sharpened tonight. I hope that you cats and lady sharpened too. And tune in tomorrow night. Me and Theo do the same shit all over again. That's it for now. Fret not. I'll be coming at you. Peace.